Hello, YouTube. Welcome back to another episode of Team Gradelock Unlocks the Week. I'm your host, AlphonZeus, and we're going to be discussing the latest Card Find Vanguard episode, Ride 134, as well as, results of our local and any new news concerning Card Find Vanguard, Weiss Schwarz, or any other trading card games that came to our attention. So now let's get right into it. The latest Card Find Vanguard episode. Spoiler alert, if you have not seen this episode yet, pause or close the video, go watch that episode, and come back and watch the video again. Or you can also click the link in the description down below to skip right to the results of our local. So, Ride 134 is the conclusion of the battle between Ren and Reverse Tetsu. Now, I thought this battle was definitely good. There was literally little to no misplays at all during the entire match. I definitely liked how it all went down. It showed great skill on behalf of both players. I definitely was hyped up about the Amon. I definitely want to pick up that Amon deck, and I even started collecting the cards as well. So it was actually pretty damn cool the way that Tetsu utilized Dorian the Thruster very well, because he was soul charging every turn. So Dorian would always be at least at 9k every single turn. And it was definitely good how it ended up being Tetsu getting a heal trigger, then put himself at 3 and getting Ren at 5. And then Ren tied it up in the next turn and managed to do a critical trigger. Of course, Tetsu had to drop that perfect guard for the superior Persona ride. And, it was definitely back and forth. But throughout the fight, even Ren mentioned after Ren did in final turn, Tetsu with the first superior Persona ride, he was still having a lot of fun, still lighthearted. He's still, he's serious, but his persona is just like, wow, this guy is pretty damn epic. He's not only just he kind of like carefree. He's serious when he needs to be, and he's just swaggerific, if I want to call it a word that he has. Now, of course, we now finally see the Amon reversed, but before that, I actually noticed that Tetsu still had some counterblasts open. The one suggestion I would have made to him was to actually use one of his counterblasts to put a rear guard into the soul, so that Ren could retire one of his rear guards, because that would be at least one less rear guard that Ren has to really worry about to fill up that spot so he can do the superior persona ride. And but it was still a good play nonetheless, and everybody guarded way up until the end. Ren was definitely great about getting that last Raging Foreign Dragon to do the superior ride, because the way he filled up his field, thank God he had Tartu up, because or else he wouldn't have much left to guard with, or at least much left to retire with for the superior persona ride. And all of this build up between the friendship, and even Tetsu, unlike the other reverse fighters such as Suiko, Asuka, and Naoki, they were just all really cocky, really arrogant. But Tetsu, of course, it seems that he has control over his reverse side, because he actually wanted to lead Ren into becoming the leader of this reverse team. And Suiko and Asuka on the sidelines, they were just really into it, because they didn't want to see Ren lose, especially after doing so much work for the past couple episodes. But fortunately for Ren, he got it off. He managed to defeat Tetsu, and Tetsu was unreversed. And there was a little bit of surprise there, because when Tetsu staggered back a bit, I was like, no, Tetsu cannot die. This is so dark. And Ren, being the bro that he is, grabs Tetsu's arms like, hey, come on, man. I'll be pathetic without you. I need you right now. And that shows how far Ren has come throughout the entire 3 seasons of Vanguard, that he became the main antagonist that everybody loved to hate, or everybody loved to love, and just became this awesome person that puts in so much work, and shows why Shadow Paladins is definitely a very, very good deck. I definitely like that. And then they said for the next episode, where the next morning, Ren, actually before the next morning, when they left Fukuhara High School, you see Kyo and Kiria preparing to battle it out, because they want to face Ren, but of course he's not around, so they face each other first. I want to see what type of tech that Kyo has with his Spike Brothers deck, because I saw Grateful Catapult when he was battling just high school students. And I want to see if Kiria either has the Lecuyer build, or maybe even the Break Ride build as well. I'm definitely seeing, what's going to happen now. And then when, the next morning when they went to the high school, Ren and his group, they saw Aichi, and Aichi was like, whoa, it's like, what's going on? I was like, oh, hey, Suiko, how you doing? And, he was concerned about Korin, because, she was busy with her idol work. And lo and behold, Rekka and Korin came out of the blue, and, they were saying, oh, wow, it's pretty cool. And the thing is, they make their separate ways, Aichi with Korin and Rekka, and Ren with his group. But then, it's a little bit of Ren's suspicion, which he may prove right in the next episode, because I haven't seen the preview yet, because I always want to wait until the next episode, so I don't have any thoughts in my mind before, so I can just watch it just like a blind playthrough, if you will. Now, I was definitely concerned too, because think like, all right, because usually like the other fighters, like say Naoki, especially when he walked in the room, you already see the red, you already see like his cocky persona challenging the most powerful fighter there is, and you can tell that he's definitely reversed. But if Core and Rekka were able to suppress that, and they can just use that in alter ego, or even let the reverse come over that entirely, because they want to target Aichi, because he's definitely one of the strongest card fighters ever. He's the main character, and it's just weird to think that maybe some reverse fighters can actually break it, which is scary, because I don't know what the heck's gonna happen with Korn and Rekka when they end up being reversed. But of course, this is just speculation at this point. This is just something that I'm predicting for the next one. But that's the only thing that I have for the next episode. I'm not watching the preview yet to see if I'm confirmed or not. Well, that's at least it for the breakdown of the Card Fight Vanguard episode. If there's anything that stuck out in the episode that you wanted to talk about, as well as any new things that I haven't brought up that was in the episode, you can always put them in the comments down below, start up a conversation. That's how we can get the community going. Now let's get into the results of our local. At Game On, we had about like 12, 16 people. It's an average size for a tournament. Of course, 4 rounds, top 4. And pretty much what happened was my first round, I used the Bermuda PRISM, something that I've been planning for quite a bit. And, my first opponent was against an Alfred Beat player. I managed to beat him because of the break ride. And then the second round, I went up against a gold Spectral Duke player that had no perfect guards or no... it was a Chrome Jail or Spectral Duke build. And, he was okay in terms of skill. He definitely... In the first game, he got me on double triggers, and I was like, oh, wow, okay, so I better be cautious about this. But I beat him with the Prism Break right in the end. Third round, I went up against Jason, one of our newest members of Team Gradelock, and he was running MOB. He managed to beat me consistently. Second game, I was Gradelock, but first game, it was, really down to triggers, and it was, a pretty good game. I would give him mad props for that. Third round, I went up against Alex. No, not Alex. Alex is another one of our new members of Team Gradelock. I actually went up against another... Oh, yeah, that was Jason, yeah. And then the fourth round, I actually went up against Alex, and pretty much whoever got that gets top 4. Alex was running the Alfred Beat as well. And I managed to beat him with the break ride skill as well as Labrador. From then on, we moved in top 4. I was top 4 with Henry, who also used Bermudas, but it was more the break ride with Reindeer. And Rob was also in there. He also had the Prism build as well with some different tech, such as the starter. And then you also had Jason, who was, in there with MLB. So we had 3 Bermuda players as well as, 1 MLB in the top 4. I played against Jason. I lost because I literally had nothing. I had triggers in my hand. I couldn't call anything. I could only attack with the Vanguard for so long. Therefore, the break ride wouldn't really come in use for me. And then, Henry managed to beat Rob, and then it was Jason and Henry in the top 2. Each game, they got grade log, and then grade 3, Jason was the one that beat Henry and managed to get first place. And then when we get the pack distribution, I was tempted to get Weiss Schwarz pack. I'm going to actually upload the box opening of Weiss Schwarz, as well as 2 parts of our Weiss Schwarz game between myself and Alex. And, that's going to be a really interesting game. You're going to just look forward for those uploads later on today. And then, what I pulled from my 3 packs, I pulled it from the new Bermudas. My first pack, I pulled a Labrador, and I was like, okay, alright, that's cool. Second pack, I pulled an Ellie, and I was like, okay, what's going on? And then my third pack, I pulled a Queer, so it's like, I don't know what to do. I already made that box worthless right now. I think the only thing, he actually combined boxes with, like, an older one, so it's probably still a triple wear or even an SP in there, so I'm not really sure, but it's still... it's still up for grabs. That box is not completely dead yet. I just felt really happy that I managed to get a lot more Bermudas, although I would have loved to see a vert and an SP vert at that. So, those were also actually pretty cool. And then I guess for the next stuff that's coming up would be for, Card Fight Vanguard, the next set in the series, especially in the Japanese meta, which would be set 13. It seems that we're going to have another cross break ride in the form of the Extreme Ethics Buster. It seems that, that's going to be a very, very interesting thing to have. Yeah, the Strongest Beast Deity Ethics Buster Extreme. That's quite a long name, dear sir. And I'm definitely seeing, like, what's going to be like that. And then I see also Star Vader Chaos Breaker Dragon. Oh, man. It's like these names are just going to even be longer than the Palamedes. Or something of the Flaming Swordsman or something like that. I'm gonna just look this up real quick, just to see what the exact name. Swordsman of the Blaze. Nope. Swordsman of the Explosive Flames Palamedes. Oh dear. I don't play Royal Paladin, so I really had to look that up just to confirm with you guys. Alrighty. Well, for the set 13, I'm looking forward to that. It's just that in the English meta, we have to wait quite a bit because I don't know what's happening. I was thinking like we would get something in August, but no, it's like they're taking a break from the English meta, which I can probably understand. They've been releasing sets every month for a while now. It's probably good to just take a break so we can at least get some money to save it for the rest. And so for September, what's going to be the next one is going to be the Infinite Phantom Legion and the Celestial Valkyries coming out. Now, of course, I'm looking forward. I'm definitely going to pick up the OTT version because that should have the Korean art of Silent Tom as well as an alternate art for CEO. And I think from there, I'll actually be complete in terms of my Tsukiyomi deck. It's going to be a remastered version, so it's going to be like a complete focus on Tsukiyomi and showing why it's really, really good, and just testing that out once that comes out in September. And after that, in October, we're going to have both trial decks where we're going to get the Liberators and the Eradicators. We don't have this full support for them yet, but I think it's going to be a really interesting twist to see Liberators and Eradicators in the mix with the Break Rides, along with our Little Mermaids, the Bermuda Triangle. And then we have Booster Set 11, Steel Dragons Unleashed, which is going to have some Genesis cards, which I definitely like, especially Fortuna. The ability to do another drive check when you get a grade 1 or greater, put it in there and do another drive check for like 3 Soul Blast, which is insane. I definitely do like that. And I think some of the things that I've heard about a lot were Spike Bros in Japan that actually topped because they ran like 12 grade 1s, 10 grade 2s, 10 grade 3s. And it was kind of insane because they used Jelly Bean, and Jelly Bean is this card that came out. It was a rare in the extra booster that came in with Spectral Duke Dragon and Dudley Emperor, and that actually showed because you have to reveal it and you get any grade 2 or less Dudley, so you can literally just tech it in and you just reveal it and boom, you're not grade locked, and which is a major problem in Vanguard right now, just getting grade locked because it kind of screws you over. And it wouldn't feel like a complete win, but a win is a win nonetheless. I'm definitely seeing what the Cardfight Vanguard is going to be doing. I know that the Bermuda Triangle is definitely going to be in the top for a while, but it's definitely not breaking the format. It's just a lot of people that want to play Bermudas. I know that I've always wanted to play Bermudas for a while, especially when I picked up the Riviere build and try and play that. I also, if you want to see that deck profile, I'll put the link down below if you wish. And then we're going to go into Weiss Schwarz. Now, Weiss Schwarz, the next set that's going to be coming out is for Fate Zero on August 16th. I haven't got the Fate Zero. I haven't gotten into it yet. I know that one of our friends, CK, he's actually got the Fate Zero deck. He got the signed card out of it. And I'm wondering, I hope that there's going to be some pre-orders too. But the thing is, though, with Weiss Schwarz, I also have recorded a match with Alex, one of our newest members, and we're going to have that up as well. So you're going to be expecting a box opening later today, as well as 2 parts of one game of Weiss Schwarz, which feels like a campaign. You can have like 3 Cardfight Vanguard games in like one Weiss Schwarz battle, because it's pretty. It can take a while. It can take quite a bit. And then actually the big craze that's been going around at Game On lately turned out to be Kaijudo. Now, when I went in, I noticed that like on their Facebook page, they had quite a number of players, whether from Yu-Gi-Oh, from Vanguard, that actually was interested in Kaijudo. And when I was introduced to the concept, it's kind of similar to Pokemon in a way, or like Pokemon, Magic, and Yu-Gi-Oh, except that like you have like any card that you have can be like a land or mana that you can use, which is great because you won't have to worry about being mana stuck or mana flooded. You can just go in there, and it requires a lot more strategy than usual, which is good because like since this is extremely skill based with very little stuff in luck based outside of like just top decking like a boss, I played a game of Kaijudo. It was definitely good. I would definitely love it. I already bought a trial deck for the Psychic Assault, so that's the blue and white. I also pulled some $15 rare, which was the Keeper of Law, so I thought that was pretty good. I got my money back, or plus on top of that. And I'm looking forward to kind of like, going back to going to those Kaijudo tournaments and see what I can do for that later on. I think that's definitely going to be really good. But right now, I'm making sure that whatever you guys want, please just do it to me. I'll put in the casual series as well, and we'll just see what you guys want to see more of Vanguard, Weiss Schwarz, or even Kaijudo. If you want to see Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, that's cool with me. Like, I can definitely put up a match for next week. If you want to see Magic, you can always, put out for next week. Although I don't think there's any other Magic players in our team as of now. But don't worry, nothing's set in stone yet. If you do want to, just please post in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on this video with any suggestions you want for next week's episode of Team Gradelock Unlocks the Week. I am your host, AlphonZeus. I will see you guys next time. Take care.